Guess what came? Hope poem book. Looking snazzy, right? See, I changed a few things. Probably won't notice unless you look at the Instagram. And Dove. Now, there is 500 pages here. I've already done some formatting edits so that it's under 400. Such as, that is pretty large font. I dropped the font. That was one thing. And I also cut out the chapter starts page, because chapters are currently starting at the top, and I cut that out so that there wasn't so much blank page. There's over 60 chapters. Normally when you do that, it is a concern. So I do have, there we go, video, stop it, video, stop it, but it's there. Fix yourself. Why? It auto fixed itself wrong. There we go. There we don't go. I'm gonna stop the video and try. Triggers. Please don't turn the page unless you want to see the list. If you have a bad day, perhaps pick up a nice fluffy romance. I do this because triggers by themselves, just naming them for certain people, will set them off. That means they're really, really raw. There's days where the traumatic experience is extremely raw for me, and other days where I can handle it. And the trigger page is to let you know that even if you have problems, if you have concerns, just be aware that this one is not a nice one. Oh, well, it's Todd Lieben. Of course it's not a nice one. Todd Lieben means it's triggering content. And I have the list. And this, I normally do chapter by chapter. I did the entire book with this one. There you go. There's talk of non-ethical scientific experimentation, torture, murder, and abuse throughout the book. There are active scenes of abuse, verbal, mental, emotional, and physical. Daedalus and Icarus do not have a positive relationship in any sense of the word. Although rape is spoken of, it is not incest, and it's not on screen. The only sexual acts are consented to, minus a minor sexual harassment issue on chapter 4. That's because Icarus, due to past experience and the circumstances as they were given, could not act out against the harassment. Several cases of stalking, attempted, planned, and executed, are spoken of during the book as a whole. Alcohol exists in the world. It's our world. There's nothing triggering about it, minus the questions around Dad being drunk in chapter 28. Bullying is brought up a few times, but nothing major or serious happens in the book itself. Icarus does have suicidal ideations and attempts in his background. Not shocking given the abuse he's received. It comes up time to time. He literally states some of his suicide attempts. But he's a superhero. It's not easy to kill him. Cursing happens. Who would say no to cursing if they accept on-screen abuse? I don't know how you could accept a choke out and not fuck. So that's not even a trigger at this point. A pregnancy happens during the story timeline. It is not perfect. It is very problematic, and the person who's pregnant almost dies, but everyone does live in the end. If that is a trigger for you, I do not suggest it. Suggest reading this book. Weapons and battle are expectations for a superhero book, and this is superheroes, and you have them here. That's more of a content warning, but since I have a trigger page, everything gets marked as a trigger, and generally content warnings would lean towards trigger warnings if, I just blanked, if it wasn't an expectation. Like, if you're talking about a murder mystery, you're expecting murder. You're expecting dead bodies. Dead bodies is capable of being triggering. Murder is capable of being triggering. But because of the book expectation, it would be a content warning and not a trigger. Sometimes that happens. Weapons and battles are expectations. So in this case, they'd be content warnings, but I have a trigger. Normally, I do the chapters a new chapter by chapter write-up, but everything is interwoven. Some chapters are just cute and loving, but all of them still have the undercurrent of dark fantasy. There are 67 plus an epilogue chapters, and yes, it is a happily ever after. After the night comes morning. I give the first rays of daylight in the story, while the epilogue offers bright noontime sunshine. And I mention that to let you know that it is a happily ever after. It is a true romance, although I would definitely lean on dark fantasy superhero more than LGBT romance. It's just, it fits both. So I'm working on it, my pretty cover. It is a fucking big book. I mean, it's 140,000 words, so that's definitely fantasy. Hope, though, is 129. Although the last 3 pages are indexed. Both the About Me and the dedication are poems. So I changed the title inside, although the outside title is Hope, and the title that you get on Amazon is Hope. Alright. Dedication. The dedication is poems. To you. To my wandering spirit friend. And Mother, the dedication. My mom does not know about that. She hasn't looked inside the book yet. It's set up as 3 different groups. You have abstract, you have nature, and you have concrete. And then here's my About Cat Hartliebe, and it is me, 2009. That was something I wrote in 2009 to indicate who I was. It was my first time that I was really marking myself as an author, although I didn't believe it. And then poet, author, there we go, and one day I'll be listed in the classics, one day I'll be known as great, one day I'll be famous, one day after a million others die in the gutter, but one day Hartliebe will be a name everyone knows, because I am not joking about my mastery, I'm not joking about my skills. One day, I just need to keep trying, because one day everyone will know my name, place me next to Shakespeare. I belong there, one day. Talk about hope. Poem, but it's my About Me. I am trying to turn the page. It's not working. And then Me 2022 Revamped. I said I was going to show this one. I am an author who has yet to succeed. I'm a scientist who hasn't been allowed to study anything. I'm still a mother, but not a wife. I'm going to offer hope every which way. I may be alone, but will never stop fighting. I am ready and waiting for the next big outcome. I am Cat Hartliebe. I am Todd Lieben. I am Cat Gillette. I will always be. With or without anyone, I will always be me. So, as you notice 2 times there, I have not done my proofreading like I need to. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to go through and red mark the whole thing. There's a lot of poems here. The longest poem is Forever Friend, which is on page 44. I just have the index out. 44. Forever Friend is here. The super long one that I always read. It's my little song. 4 pages. It's my longest one. I believe it might actually be my longest poem, but it's still not considered epic length. What do you think? Should I challenge myself to do an epic length poem? It's going to be for Jiyoung. All of my poems are for Jiyoung. That's just how it works. So there's a lot of poems in here. I do have other poems that reach 3 pages, but Forever Friend number 1 reaches 4. Yo, you did see that, didn't you? Vendredi. What? Thursday. It is French. I usually have 2 French poems. I have Vendredi, which I'm saying wrong because my brain is just not doing it, and Bon Dieu. And Bon Dieu is somewhere. Wait, let me just do the index. Index is easy. 63. Oh, look at that. Le jeu est bien enchanté, mais jamais rêvé heureuse. Je veux tout. Le jeu est bien. I took French in high school. And actually I took it in middle school and high school. And Bon Dieu and Vendredi were written as high school poems to get bonus points in my class. But I very much like them. I actually also have Mon Chat. Mon Chat was about my cat, and that was when I was a junior in high school. But Bon Dieu, I believe, was my first one. No, Bien Dieu. I'm sorry, I'm saying Bon Dieu, that's wrong. Bon Dieu is hello. Bien Dieu. Bien Dieu. That is good day. Le jour is bien. The day is good. Un conte. A smile. Je me réveille heureuse. I wake up happy. Je vous tout. I'm good. Le jour est bien. The day is good. Yeah, I know that one off the top of my head. So I have a whole bunch of them. I wonder if I succeeded at what I was trying to do. I don't know. I need to go through it and find comfort in seeing if... Oh, look, there's number 1. That's the one. Definitely written for Jiang. Wait, it has to come into focus. Will you be my number 1? Can you stand at my side as I stare down people left and right? Will you be my number 1? The one who helps me out when crises seem too much or when the world looks to collapse? Will you be my number 1? The one legally allowed beside me no matter what, even if death is on the line? Will you be my number 1? I ask this in such a roundabout way, yet it seems I must be more straightforward. Will you marry me? Definitely for Jiang. Yep. And if I write that epic poem, it would be for Jiang, because he gets everything. He just doesn't know about it. Alright, I just wanted to show that I have gotten my books in. Very exciting. And Dove is already set up ebook for August 1st, and I will have the paperback ready before then and set up to publish. I mean, even if I were to publish it as is, it's in pretty decent shape. We're already on 3rd draft. I'm already pretty happy with it. I do want to give it another review. Hope definitely needs a review. I can't put that out as is. You noticed those errors. I noticed those errors. We need to fix them. They might have already been fixed because I did look at it after I sent it for proofing. This is proofed copies. Proof copies are highly, highly, highly suggested. Part of it is make sure your cover looks good, that everything looks nice when you do it, and it really gives you an idea of what the formatting looks like. Very important. So, just wanted to show it off. If you have any questions, if you want to learn a little more about my work, cathartliebe.wordpress.com. On the front page, you can actually click on Dove. You can't click on Hope yet. I do have Hope poem books. So if you go to cathartliebe.wordpress.com/Hope poem book, you will get to the page about Hope. But I have not tagged it to my main page. Dove is already tagged there. You can actually click on the picture of Dove, that cover image, and it will give you the page for it. That's on Todd Lieben. So I am doing stuff. My next goal is, I'm working on these two. My next goals are Gold Star Member and Balanced Poem Book and Dragon Rider. If you have any other suggestions, cool, let me know. I'm gonna get my marketing done and get moving on the next steps. And I am focus. No focus. Bye, focus.